Hi everyone, today I thought it was time for us to have a go from this Rita Berman book, Die Welt Unter Der Lupe. I haven't been doing many from here lately just because I've been sort of into spring, Easter colouring, and underwater pictures don't quite fit the mark, but we've got these lovely florals on this page anyway. But today I thought I'd quite fancied having a go at this fish, so that's what I'm going to do. Excuse me. So I've decided to use my Black Widow Cobra set just because there's some really nice purples, and for some reason I looked at this fish and thought purple. I don't know why. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit for us so you can see the fish a little more closely. Now you can see that he's got quite a lot of leaves and greenery on there. We do have a few greens, not too many, but I think it will work, and bits and bobs. But I'm going to start with the purple. So the space is the darkest purple in the Cobra set, and that's what I'm going to do, sort of on the edge of our fish, Mr. Fish as I'm going to call him. I do have a Mr. Fish here too. He's not a real fish. He is a China fish. And it was the first present that my husband ever bought me. I went to visit him where he lived. He'd visited me a few times in the town where I live. He'd driven. I couldn't drive, but I went up on the train, visited him in the town that he lived, and he took me to a little gifty shop and said, I want you to choose something. So I chose Mr. Fish, and poor Mr. Fish has been through it a little bit. He's quite light, he's hollow. And it was windy one day. He was on the windowsill in my bathroom. I keep him in the bathroom because it feels the right place for a fish. So I'm just thinking about where to go with this colour. And the blind blew on the windowsill in the wind and knocked Mr. Fish onto the floor, and he chipped. So he's got a chipped fin, but he's still there. He's very special. So there he is, Mr. Fish. Anyway, that isn't what I was going to tell you about today. I've been on a lovely walk today, and I thought I might share with you. I went with my friend. Now it's cold today, windy, and although it's sunny now, the sun has just come out. I think what I'm going to do is stop with this body part. That sounds a bit weird. With colouring the body, and do some of the details in a slightly lighter purple, and then finish the body off in a minute. So I'm going to move to the purple haze, which is a much lighter purple, and do some of these little teardrop details and other bits, and then I can actually see where we're at a little bit with where I want to colour, because I wasn't sure whether I was going to colour in there or not. So I think I'll just move a little bit. So sorry for chopping and changing, but I'm just going to colour those in quite solidly and go on from there. So yes, I went for a lovely walk, met a friend. Well, she popped to the house. She came and parked. We have a little lay-by opposite our square where we live, and guests can park up. So she parked up there, and we walked along the canal, which was nice. We saw quite a few different bits and bobs. We saw 3 pairs of mandarin ducks, so that was rather nice. I can do this a bit harder on this bit and lighter there, just so we get a bit of a contrast in shading. May not show up massively. We saw a heron. We saw a heron twice because we went along and then came back, so it's always a bit tricky to know whether it's the same one. I'm pretty sure it was. And we had a dog with us, and my friend's got her mother lives with her now, and she's got a dog, so we take the dog for a walk while we're walking. And the dog get off the lead, I mean, it'll run around and sniff around and everything else, and so I'm scared the heron. So every time we saw the heron, it flew away. But they're so elegant when they fly. And my friend was saying how she can see how the Japanese love elegant, beautiful birds. I think it's cranes that they tend to like. But anyway, because this heron was just so beautiful. Yeah, I'm going to leave that for now and carry on with that, back with the space colour. I think I am going to go inside here. I'm basically going to go back over what I've done, just darken it a bit. I want a really dark purple fish. It's just how I thought he would look. I'm not good at visualising things in my head, but dark purple just felt right. for Mr. Fish. We'll see, won't we? So what else did we see? We saw more hens and ducks. We were hearing this beautiful bird, and she kept asking me if I knew what it was, but I'm really not up on my bird calls. We were trying to peer into the tree and see what it was, but I could see a vague bird shape, but I couldn't tell whether it was that bird that was making the noise or some other bird. So it was really a bit tricky. So we didn't really know. We weren't very good. But so we had a nice chatter anyway, which was nice. Catch up on what our kids are doing. Her son used to be friendly with my boys at school. He moved schools, so they sort of lost touch, but we didn't. We kept we keep in touch still, and he seems to be doing okay, so that's good. So that was nice, and she's got a younger daughter. We're having a chatter about various things, family and school, college and different things like that, so that was good. Because her daughter's at the school that the others all went to. And I'm going to choose another colour purple. This is the Grape. It's a very nice colour. I think I'm going to go over what I've done already with the Grape and then bring the colour into the middle. So I'm not going to go lighter than this. And hopefully these bits will show up, but we can find a way to do it if they don't. So I've got a few ideas. Oops, I just went out of the line. Never mind. Yes, so the school that her daughter's at, that my boys went to, is the headmistress is leaving. I don't know if she's retiring or if she's changing career or if she's moving to a different school. I haven't got all the info about that. They don't always reveal anyway. And so she was saying they haven't heard anything about who's going to be the new head. And so that was interesting. And they're rebuilding the whole building as well. The government have got money for some schools to be rebuilt. Theirs is quite old, an old building. It's quite old-fashioned, but also it's got a lot of asbestos in it. So and although the asbestos isn't dangerous to the children, it is going to create them problems when they knock it down. But they're going to rebuild the school so it's better for them. I think it leaks quite a bit, the roof leaks and things like that in the labs, so the children used to say. So anyway, it'll be nice for them all to have a new school. So there's his face, I quite like that. And move on to this bit. So I hope you can see what I'm doing really. I'm just layering up the edges and then putting some darker colour towards the middle. Nice and straightforward. So I'm trying to think what else we saw. We saw flowers. There were some really pretty bluey purpley flowers and I didn't know what they were. So that was nice. I should have asked her because she knows about this, but it's quite tricky when you're engaged in conversation to, I shouldn't have been looking at the flower, I should have been listening to what she was saying. So it was a bit tricky. Or at times she had to disappear off and chase the dog, who was fairly well behaved. We chatted to a few people along the way, which was nice. And she'd said that part of the canal path was going to be closed, but actually it wasn't. So I don't know whether it had reopened or whether it was a different bit. But I hadn't heard anything, so we thought we would just go along and see. Unfortunately, it was all open where we were. But it's quite a long canal, so it could have been anywhere really. We're fortunate that we just get on by my house and walk the path. We found trying to work out what's going on here with these lines, but I think they're just related to, I'm also trying to work out what this is. Now this is obviously the fins, and this is part of the tail, I would say, but what's this bit? I don't think it's part of the flower, so is it part of the tail or the fish? And these bits were on top, these sort of berry bits here, but here there are lines that look like they're underneath. I'm a little bit confused, so I'm going to give that some thought. We could colour it in the same way that we do the fins and tail. I'm going to do the fins and the tail in the same way, as each other. I tend to do that with a fish when I colour it. I don't know whether it's right or wrong. I mean, fish are all quite different. I have tried looking at pictures of fish to see if I can make my fish look a bit more realistic. Sometimes I copy pictures, but today I've just got this idea. I'm going to go with it. I want this bit to be a bit lighter but still have some colour in it. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. I need my coffee, which again is too warm at the minute. So I made myself a drink and then got on with recording. Okay, now I have coloured over that a little bit, which could be problematic later. I'm going to do some more details. I might come back and just tidy that purple up a little bit more in a bit. I am going to use the purple haze again to do around the eye here. I think it would just work. And that centre part of eye I'm just going to do as well. I'm going to use the charcoal colour and put a little bit here on this side and sort of fade it, leaving some white top and bottom. And I do this with my fish's eyes and it just makes them look a little bit more lifelike, like they're reflecting some light, and that's how I do it. Okay, let's do some let's do the fins next. I'm going to use the purple haze again. I want to make them a little bit lighter, and actually I'm just going to put a layer down. I'm not going to worry too much about any shading at the minute. There we go. I like the fact that he looks like he's got a bit of a smile. It's cute, isn't he? And here, I'm going to come in with this with the darker purple in a minute to sort of add a few details. Now the background is tricky on this. You know, there's quite a big gap here with nothing, which I've been thinking about, and I'm probably going to use a pastel, a soft pastel, to do a background. It's a lot easier than using pencil, although it might not always be quite so impressive. It's sort of quicker as well. And although these books are a little bit smaller, so it's not going to take quite as long to do a background as it would, say, for a Kirby Roseanne or a Johanna Basford or something like that. And it's part of the appeal for me, I have to say, for these books, is the size of the pages, because they're not tiny, so there's still space for detail, but not huge areas. But yeah, I'll probably do some soft pastel. It's just easy. Okay, so that is our main bit. And now I'm going to grab the grape colour, oops, if I don't drop it, the grape, oops, and do a little bit on these. I'm just going to put a little bit here, just to very slightly show that edge. And here I'm actually going to do these a little bit, so just a little bit at the bottom of each of these. Like that. There we go. And maybe just along here. I think that'll all be fine. Now, to me this bit looks like it's this, but the tail wouldn't start there. So I think I'm just going to take the colour we used for the main part of the body and do that, and sort of ignore it. Just colour it as if it's just the body. So my idea is to try and make it a little bit lighter towards the centre of the fish, so he looks a little bit shiny. But we'll just do that quick, and then we'll do the leaf detail, and then we might come back in with some purple. Now we don't have a lot of greens, but I think this one will do really well. It's called Venom, and I think it's quite a good green to go with purple. So I will show you. Now we don't have lots of greens, so I'm just going to use this one and just fade it up towards the end of the leaf like that. I think that will work, and do that for all the leaves really. So it's nice, relaxed, easy colouring today with this fish. Now I often, oh, things are blowing around, it's very windy today. I often do fish in orange, like goldfish. I say goldfish, yeah. But I thought I would just do something a bit different. I mean, there's probably loads of fish in this book. To be honest, I can't really remember what all the pictures are, but there's probably lots of opportunity to do orange fish. But this little chap can be different. I find it fascinating how many illustrators draw sort of botanicals on their animals. But it does make it, when it's a large one like this, it does make it a lot easier to colour because you've got something a little bit different. And you could colour these purple as well and just sort of make them look like they're embossed or even engraved on the body of the fish. That would be a bit cruel, engraving on a fish, but I think you know what I mean. And so keep it all with the fish colour. But I think it's fun to mix it up a little bit. And we're going to have another colour for these sort of swirly bits. I don't know what they are, but they're just going to be a different colour. I think it will just, I'm thinking a dark pink would work. I'm not sure what I've got here. I've actually got red. Red would work. A deep pinky red like a magenta I think would be really good, but we don't have that, so I'm just going to adapt. See what's in the Cobra and just use what we've got. So I'm only using the Cobra set today. I often use both my sets of Black Widows together, but I just felt there would be enough colours in this one, but if there isn't I will grab the other tin, but I think there'll be enough. And sometimes having a smaller amount of colours to choose from can be useful. It can just give us less decision making. It's quite interesting. The book I was reading on happiness was saying how decision making can be really stressful and make us unhappy, because not only is it difficult for us to make a decision about whatever it is, but we also then have the potential of regret that we may have made the wrong decision. This is the Blood Diamond. It's very red. I'm going to use it lightly, and if I think it needs to be more pink I might put a pink layer on top. So I'm just going to see how it sort of goes down and then decide. I think I might add pink to it. You see, when you have a limited number of colours you have to sometimes make your own, and that's quite fun. You need to obviously know the principles of the colour wheel, but most of us know the basics. Most of us know that red and yellow make orange, and blue and red make purple, and blue and yellow make green. She says, hoping she's got that right, because that'll be a bit embarrassing. But even if we don't, we can learn, and you can find colour wheels on websites everywhere. It's really easy. You'll find a picture if you go into your search engine and type colour wheel. You'll find a picture, easy as anything. I'm going to use this really dark pink. It's a Bubblegum, and just go over the top really, and it should end up looking dark pink. There we go, which is what I wanted. There we go. And once I have finished these details, I will go back and do a bit more purple to just make it, even it out a little bit. I'm quite pleased with the head. It's the body that isn't quite looking how I want it to look. But we do have these dots, and I think I'm just going to do them in this pink. And they'll look slightly different, but they will match in. one unfortunately is very purple. I think it'll be okay. Okay, so now I'm going to start again with my space, which was the dark purple, and just go back along the edge of Mr. Fish and put some purple back in, or another layer, I guess. Sometimes though, talking about choice of colours, I really do want a big choice and it doesn't always stress me. You know, my polychromos, for example, I've got 120, it's the biggest set that I've got, and I know them really well. I've had them for a long old time, so I don't find the choice stressful because I know what I'm looking for, I know what's there. Gonna use the Grape now to sort of finish and tidy. So it isn't a stressful decision for me, but I know what to pick and when. So some days if I want something simple like today, I can just pick the Black Widows or whatever it might be, or the Derwent Chroma Flow tin. I've got 24, I think. I've got some tins with 12. You know, it's just a matter of suiting your mood, but also knowing what tin has the right colours. Because although we can make colours, as I just demonstrated, sometimes it's nice for the colours to be there already. My husband is a painter. Watercolours he likes, and he doesn't like making colours at all. He likes having a palette with every colour, I mean a box with every colour of paint in there that he's going to use, so that he doesn't have to mix them. And then he watches videos where people mix paint and they say this is the palette you need of colours, and then you can make every colour that you need for X and Y, whatever it is. And but he just likes to have the right colour and use it. And I think we're all just different, and it's I'm going to use the purple haze again to go over the fins, and we need to do the tail, which actually isn't in camera shot, and actually not all of the fin is either. I've just noticed. There we go. I'm just going to go over again and do another layer. I want it to be quite thick pencil, because I'm going to add some pen details and I want them to show up. You'll see. And if we only have a thin layer of pencil, a white pen doesn't show up very well. So I want to make sure that it does. I'm not sure whether to do a bit more on those green leaves, whether they're okay being that faint, or whether they could do with a bit more having a think. So I'm going to use some pens, as I said. I thought it might be fun to make Mr. Fish a little bit sparkly. So I'm going to find a sparkly gel pen for in purple to do some purple details on Mr. Fish. I think it might be fun. Okay, but we're going to do this bit here. I'm pretty sure all of the bit in here, I'm just going to sharpen this, it's got a little bit blunt. All of the sort of wavy bits under the flower are going to be sort of tail. I'm pretty sure. I haven't actually seen any completed pages of this one on Instagram or anything, not lately anyway. I think it's quite fun sometimes doing a page having never seen it completed. I think there's a fun and a joy in not having anyone else's colour influence or colouring influence on you, and you're just doing it by yourself. I rather like that. Okay. We've got white details, and I'm going to use my white Posca pen for that. But I'm also going to grab some glittery gel pens. These are Castle Art, so it doesn't really matter what brand you go for. I just want a nice dark purpley glittery pen, so that's what I'm grabbing. Ooh. I've got a lot of I've got the 100 set of these Castle gel pens, so we get quite a lot of nice colours. So I'm going to go around here each of these teardrop shapes with the glittery pen, to make him sparkle. Why not? I've got sparkly pens, let's just use them. I don't use them enough. I'm going to go along here. I'm just trying to, sorry if I'm shadowing it or stopping you seeing it, but I find pens a little bit awkward because you have to tip them up to get the colour out. You can't put them on their side like a pencil very well. Then it's I find I more often than not block the view, so I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm just going to have to stop and wipe my nose. Oh, right, I'm not going to do the fins with this purple. I'm carrying on with this purple though on the main body of the fish. I'm going to do something a little bit different there. I'm going to use the white. I think that ends there. That could probably do the thing a bit darker, but never mind. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's him done. You probably can't see much of the sparkle. So we're a bit far away from the light. Never mind. We'll do the white. You'll be able to see that. So as I said, this is the Posca. It's the PC1MR. It's the 0.7mm pin type, which I use a lot. I'm not going to go around the edge of the fish, just some details inside. So we're just going to go over some of these lines with the white, like that. And here, I think, we might go over those a little bit. And then down these lines. I'm not, again, not the outside. I want the black line around the outside to stand out. But I'm going to put a bit of white all the way through him so that he looks a little bit more see-through, because I always think fins and tails on fish can be see-through. So if we put some white, it somehow gives that illusion, I think. I'm not sure whether you would agree, but that's why I'm doing it. But it's also fun. Just trying to follow the lines through. Takes a bit of concentration. I find pen work takes a lot more concentration than pencil. I think it's partly because I'm trying to be more accurate to actually cover a specific line, but also I think with pencil you can erase it, with pen you can't, but I'm not too worried if I go out of the lines or go a bit wiggly wobbly. It's just a bit of fun. And if we've got a few extra white lines, who's going to know that there isn't a black one under it? Well, Rita would know. We've got these dots around here as well. I'd be quite tempted to do those white, but not until we've done the background. So we're doing the same with the tail. Just some lines, there we go. And let's see, how long have we been? Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there. I'm just going to show you the shine on Mr. Fish, just so you can, if I lift the book, you can see it. Now you could put shine on the details of here as well, but I want to keep it fairly straightforward and simple. I do think he could do with a little bit of white in his eye, so I'm just gonna go like that. You don't have to do that, it's up to you, just look like a little bit of reflection. Sometimes people do that with a fish, or you could have, I think it might have looked better if I'd done a curl, but anyway, there he is. Now I'm going to come back tomorrow and do this really pretty flower. I think that might be a fun one to do for you, and maybe some of the stems, something like that, and do a few more of the details. I probably won't do the whole page because some of the areas are the same, like this flower is the same as this one, so maybe we do a couple of the flowers that are different. I don't know, I'll have a think, but that's us for today. So there's Mr. Fish, so here he is. So thank you for watching. I hope that you have a really lovely day. There'll be a video this afternoon from Johanna Basford Ivy, so look out for that one. If you hit subscribe, you'll get a reminder. If you hit subscribe and the bell, then you can ask YouTube to give you a reminder when my videos come out, which might be useful for you if you want to do that. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your day and happy colouring.